Hello, this is Igoro, host of the Igoro Show, and you are listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. So keep your ears open and your mouth shut.
Hey, welcome to your third favorite podcast, the Steve and Crypto Show, presented by thestevestrout.com. I'm Steve.
I'm Crypto Zoo. Welcome to episode 169. We are excited to...
169.
We've been going a while, man. It doesn't seem like we have this many episodes under the belt, but we do. And
prepped up.
Yeah. And hopefully you guys have been listening to every single one. Or maybe you're just jumping in now. And that's fine if you are.
Do you think there's anybody out there that has listened to every single episode?
I hope so.
Besides you. I know
I haven't listened to every single episode, no, but I do tune in sometimes just to like check in on how many times we're saying like things like that, so I can try to work on it, so I can work on that.
I'm always gonna say and anyways and anyways, because that's just fucking how I talk. And this show is an extension of us. It's not me trying to play a character or anything. It's just us talking about shit we love and promoting the people that create it.
That's right. Yeah, we promote horror, we promote pop culture, and hope you guys dig it.
Anyways,
and
anyways,
if you want more
us.
of that, you can go over to patreon.com if you want to get more content.
Okay.
All right, back to pro mode. Patreon.com/Steve Crypto. Go there. There's an assortment of content waiting for you. We just dropped a couple different things, actually. I got more stuff that I put on there from the Ala Zulu show, the last couple performances from their set, and then we put out a episode of us shooting the shit about Fear Street, about the Fear Street thing on Netflix. So go over there and check that out. Check out the concert footage and go further back. There's a lot of stuff waiting for you there. You can contribute as little as $1 a month, and we suggest you tell your friends. We have an assortment of things there that don't all pertain to horror, and we often end up going that way anyways. But I mean, there's movie spoiler talk. There's like some video game stuff, concerts, all sorts of different things, some reviews. Go check it out. Patreon.com/Steve Crypto. And if you want to support your third favorite podcast a little bit more, you can head over to Etsy/shop/Steve Crypto merch. I usually don't have trouble getting that out. And you can go and find a couple t-shirt designs. There's a coffee mug waiting for you. There's a magnet for the fridge. There's some tote bags, an assortment of things. There's hoodies. I suggest you get that coffee mug. It's one of my favorite mugs that I have. Even though I ended up breaking it, I need to get a new one. So I'm going to support.
How did you break it? It's like broke, or did you break the handle off?
I broke the handle.
Oh, so you can still use it. You just don't have a handle.
Yeah. Technically, I can still use it, and it still makes the coffee taste just as good. I just don't have a fancy handle. But one day I will
get a handle on things.
Yeah. One day I will support my third favorite podcast, and I'll go and buy another mug.
Yeah, we have to buy our own merch, you guys. So, but the more you buy, the easier it is for us to buy it. Or something. I don't know. Anyways, all that any money made off the merch and off Patreon and all that goes back into the show. It helps us build the show. It helps us upgrade. It helps us make it to events we're invited to. Because though we get invited to be guests at a lot of events, it's still on us to get there. So every little bit.
Yep. Another way you can help us out is following us on social media. at the Steve Strout, at CryptoZoo88. We're on all the socials. Also, there's a Facebook group, and there's 1,000 members in there that a lot of them contribute to it, share things that they're working on, and we encourage you to do the same. If you're working on a movie, if you're working on an album or a comic book or something like that, and you kind of have a spooky theme connected to it, give us a little piece of it. Share something with the group and let us see what you're working on. And if we like it enough, we might even invite you to come on the show and chat about it.
Make sure to tune in to the Steve and Crypto Show. They do an impressive podcast. Get it? Impressive?
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of inviting people to come on the show and chat, one of our longtime listeners, Willie, is going to start joining us on occasion to, like, he's the man. He goes and watches every week. He goes to the theater and watches like the latest horror movie, or he streams them all. Like, he's on top of it, and he's gonna pop in every once in a while to tell us about and pitch some of the new stuff or join in conversation on stuff that we might have already watched. But he's gonna join us every so often, possibly starting with the next episode, or maybe later in this one. We'll see.
Yeah. And you listening, I mean, if you have like a movie that you just watched or an event that you attended that's on the spooky side, send us a message and let us know. Maybe it's worth chatting about.
Yeah, or at least post about it in the Facebook group.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd love to see it.
Yeah. And all the ways to promote us. Of course, share the episodes.
Yep.
Rate and review the episodes wherever you're listening. That's always very important.
Yeah. Of course, we're on Spotify and YouTube. For those of you that don't know, there's a bunch of episodes on YouTube waiting for you as well. So share them with your friends. I know almost every one of you that's listening probably has a friend that's a horror fan, and they may or may not listen to podcasts, but if they're open-minded to them, let them know about the show.
Even if they're not, tell them. Fuck it.
Yeah. Either way, tell them about it.
Anyways, tell your church group. Tell your tell your kindergarten class. Tell all the wrong people.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not the church group. They might not be big fans.
Yeah.
Anyway,
some of them might be.
So what the heck has been going on since our last chat?
Quite a bit in the horror scene, actually, which is nice to say. There's a lot. It's been
kind of quiet for a while.
Yeah, it had been for a little while there.
There's been stuff, but none that I really cared about.
Yeah, I mean, sure, we're a horror podcast, but that doesn't mean that we love everything involving horror. We're all selective in certain ways, aren't we? But yeah, and lot's been going down recently. Alien Earth was announced. Well, it was announced a while back, but like they revealed the release date for the first episode, which is August 12th. The trailer has come out recently. And they show you that in this one, the xenomorphs are not the only aliens that will be involved. In the trailer, they mentioned 5 different species that have been found or discovered. And so we'll have to wait and see what the other 4 species are like.
This is going to be a series. Where's it going to be streaming at?
On Hulu.
On Hulu, okay.
Yes.
Is Hulu also where that animated Predator series is?
Yes, it is.
Got any details about that?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have not finished it yet. I was literally trying to get through the rest of it before we started recording here. I've tried the last night or two, and I just keep starting it too late and falling asleep. It's my own fault. But what I've seen of it so far, I really enjoy. Of course, if you don't know, it's called Predator: Killer of Killers. And it's written and directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who is actually the man behind Predator Badlands, which is the next live action movie to come out, I assume coming to theaters. in November. So there could be some connection between this animated one and Badlands, maybe. But this one, Killer of Killers, it is revolving around three different people. There's like three stories. Um, there's like a Viking story, a ninja, and a World War II pilot.
I thought I saw
And
like a samurai one, but is it
it's
ninja?
samurai, ninja, yeah, that
Okay.
type of thing. And um, so I'm like partway through the ninja story, and it's good so far. Finished the Viking one, that's first. Um, the animation's great. The violence that you expect from a Predator movie is there, loud and clear. So that's why they give it the R rating, of course. Um, and
It's a mini, so it's like a mini series, like an anthology
Yeah, it's a
type thing.
movie, but yeah, it's like an anthology thing, three different stories. And of course, I haven't gotten to this point yet, but I hear that there are some connections to uh, previous Predator films, a lot of Easter egg stuff. Like if you look in the background, there's some things that are connected to the older
Like Prey.
films. I've heard
Connected to
there's a
that.
Prey connection. There's even maybe a slight connection to the original. Um, I don't want to say too much, but because I did read about that just before even finishing it, I was curious. Um, but what I've seen so far of it is really enjoyable. Um, I don't know where they plan to go from here with as far as like more animation goes, but I think they should do more of these period piece stories where like maybe Predator goes back to the prehistoric era and he's fighting dinosaurs and cavemen. I'd get a kick out of that, or maybe even like a Western with Predator in it.
Predator goes to college.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so I'm reading from polygon.com. Just wanted to give them credit. They said that they had to ask Trachtenberg whether he's planning a Killer of Killers sequel, whether he wants to see a certain character or characters back in action again. More questions about that big reveal, and they left it pretty open at this point. They're kind of they're Dan's saying that he's kind of just treating each movie that he gets to work on as its own thing, maybe not hoping too much, not hoping he gets to do more, but like let's do this one, make it as good as we can, and then see what happens in the future. I'm trying to be a little vague.
Excuse
I don't
me.
it's very new. I mean, it's the number one thing on Hulu right now, which is great. Oh, and I will add that it received a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which passed
Really?
Prey. Prey was the most successful one up until now. And so this one has become the highest rated Predator film in the series. It's crazy to say that, but they're
Yeah,
doing pretty well.
that's good though. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It opens up a lot of opportunities for the future.
right, all right. I mean, speaking of the future, uh, I know was the last episode or was it on Patreon we were talking about mentioning a few of the releases that are coming to Netflix.
Yeah. I think we probably talked about it on Patreon since we were talking about Fear Street.
Yeah, yeah. So there's a bunch of things coming that we're excited about. Like I think on Patreon we mentioned like the Happy Gilmore and all that stuff.
Yep.
But I think the big things people are most excited for, I'm most excited for the Frankenstein
Yeah.
from Guillermo del Toro. I'm kind of hoping it gets a theatrical release. I want to see it on a big screen, but I am ready. And I heard a few years ago that he was doing this. I've been hyped and waiting for it, and it's finally coming. It's got a great cast: Oscar Isaac, uh, Mia Goth, of course, from the Pearl trilogy, which I liked a lot more than you. Uh, Lars Michelson, Christopher Waltz, lots of good, talented folks in this movie, and I usually try to avoid trailers, but I had to see this one, and it looks like a Del Toro movie. It looks
Yeah.
beautiful, and it looks. I'm excited. I
Yeah,
don't
he
know how much he's gonna follow the original Frankenstein story, but it looks beautiful. The costumes look amazing. The sets look awesome. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be impressive, and I think we're probably gonna be talking about this one come award season.
do you think they might do you think either this film or in the future they might try to like have that Universal Studios push that they talked about years ago, where there was going to be like um, a universe of all these characters, like
Like the
Dracula,
dark.
Wolfman, all that, the Dark Universe or whatever
Yeah,
they called it.
that was what they did
They
with the
tried,
Invisible Man and
yeah,
this recent Wolfman. That was terrible.
yeah, they're trying to do that. But I guess my question is, do you think that they're gonna successfully do that or make a better
Um,
impact?
it'll never have the impact as the early Universal Monsters films did,
Yeah,
but I think they could give us some decent, interesting films. Hopefully,
yeah, we can only hope.
but like I said, the Invisible Man was a decent movie, but it definitely didn't feel like the OG Universal Invisible Man. And then the Wolfman one, I really did not like.
Yeah.
I
I
was, I
I
was
wasn't
so
crazy
disappointed by
about it.
it.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about it. There were a couple scenes that were okay, but overall, like I wouldn't watch it again. I wouldn't rave about it. I wouldn't tell any of you guys listening to race out and watch it. Yeah.
I just want, I don't want them to try to remake them, but I want them to be true to them,
Yeah.
to the originals. But I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
What else? Got Netflix got Stranger Things, the fifth and final season
Yep.
coming. Like I'm trying to find dates for all these. I figured there would be dates for the releases,
There are
and I'm digging in here somewhere to try to find them.
I believe there's one of them is coming out like they're splitting it up into a few different releases. I know one of the dates is around Thanksgiving, and then I
It,
think the final one is
like
like
New
on New
Year's.
Year's, yeah, New Year's
Yeah,
Eve or New Year's Day.
I saw something like that. Okay, so yeah, the first four episodes are releasing on November 26th.
There we go.
The
Yeah, around
second
Thanksgiving.
half will are released. Episodes 5 through 7 are releasing on December 25th, so on Christmas, and
Okay.
I think it's ending. So basically, it ends by New Year's.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So we will finalize that series by the end of the year.
see where that comes. See where that goes. Hopefully, they
Yeah.
wrap the series up well.
Yeah.
Uh, Another one people are excited for is Wednesday, which personally I enjoy that series, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Uh, it's actually launching the first half of the season on my birthday, August
Oh.
6th.
Oh, cool.
So, and I think they released like a chunk of the first episode, like the first 10 minutes or something. You could actually watch. You can watch on like YouTube or something like that.
I think
But
I did read that. Yeah.
I am definitely ready for that. Hopefully, it stays as fun as the first part of the series. I
Yeah.
feel like there's something else I'm forgetting that's coming to Netflix. I miss anything? Oh, the Knives Out movie.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if you watched the first two.
I have not.
No, oh man, they're fun.
Are those the
Good
ones
murder
where like the
mystery.
the people get married and then like the wife realizes that the family has this game that they want to play and
No, that's
okay.
the. Oh shit, what's that one called? It'll come to me. But Knives Out is like a murder mystery
Okay.
series with Daniel Craig, and
Okay.
this is the third installment of that series. They've all been really good. Have
I
lots
didn't
of
know
good
Daniel Craig did
twists and
anything horror related, so I might have to
well,
check that out.
it's not straight horror, but there
Yeah.
are murders and
Okay.
oh, and let's see, now you got me wondering what the hell that other movie's called. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. But
Okay.
I know there is actually a sequel to that coming too. The one you just mentioned.
Yeah.
But what the hell is it called? Come on,
I
help me
can't
out here.
remember. Is it the one with Jamie Lee Curtis or is she in Knives Out?
No. I think she was in one of the Knives Out movies.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. It'll come back to you.
Yeah.
um, is that it
Next
for
week.
Netflix right now?
Yeah, I think I felt like there was something else, but let's move on.
Okay. So again, want to give credit where it's due. Thanks to Rotten Tomatoes here. I got a list of some movies that are out now or coming soon. A couple of these we mentioned in the last episode before they were released, just briefly. The Ritual. It just was released on June 6th. And it says, in a rare spooky turn for Al Pacino, though he has played the devil in the past, as I mentioned in the last one. Um, and based on a true story, not unlike the Conjuring series, this exorcist inspired tale sees Pacino as an old priest alongside Dan Stevens as a young priest who attempt a series of exorcisms to save a young woman. Ashley Greene from Twilight
Your
co-stars in The
favorite,
Ritual.
your
Fuck you.
favorite series.
Not by a
Figured
long shot.
figured you'd have
I
to
think I like
lose.
Twilight as much as you like Zack Snyder. How about that? I know I
I
said the Z word. I'm not
I
sorry.
like I like Twilight more than I like Zack Snyder.
Oh, I cannot say that. um, Ashley Greene from not my favorite series, Twilight,
It's
co-stars in
good
The
though.
Ritual as a nun named Sister Rose, with Patricia Heaton of Everybody Loves Raymond fame as her boss, Mother Superior. I'm surprised to see Patricia involved in something like this, but that's cool. I used to watch Raymond a lot. So that sounds kind of fun. The trailer looks good. I'll check it out when I can. Um, one that I really would like to see right now is Dangerous Animals. That is out in theaters now, directed by Sean Byrne, starring Hassie Harrison, Jai Courtney, Josh Houston. Um, and you guys have probably seen the trailer. You already know it's a shark movie, but the shark is not necessarily the biggest threat. And I didn't realize when I looked at the guy who plays the killer that he played Captain Boomerang. So I was thinking like I know the guy from somewhere, and I think that's it. But anyway, this movie looks really good. I like shark movies. Most of them are not very good, but everything I've heard about this one is positive. Like I've mentioned them before. I follow 3C Films and Killjoy Jake and Cody Leach, and we watched a movie on YouTube, and all of those guys cover horror all the time. And I've watched their reviews on this movie, and all of them seem to like it. So that gives me some hope for it, at least.
I think I'm kind of excited to see back in theater Jaws.
Yeah.
It's gonna be popping up in theaters for the 50th anniversary.
Yep. And there's a
That's a real shark
documentary.
movie.
And there's a
Greatest
documentary
shark movie
coming
ever.
out to
Right.
celebrate that, to celebrate the 50th anniversary. And it's a weird title, but it's called The Farmer and the Shark. I'll jump back to the list here in a minute of the new and upcoming movies. But thanks to Bloody Disgusting, I got this article I can read off. It says this particular Jaws related documentary is taking a very interesting approach, putting the spotlight on a late Martha's Vineyard resident by the name of Craig Kingsbury. And I guess the farmer piece of our film is the late Craig Kingsbury, who lived a truly remarkable life. We're telling his story within the context of the making of Jaws on Martha's Vineyard in 1974. Craig was Robert Shaw's inspiration for his iconic portrayal of Quint. Craig was originally hired for the production to train Shaw, but because his impact was so greatly felt, Spielberg gave him the on camera role as doomed fisherman Ben Gardner. So there's more to it, but I'm going to leave it at that.
So he inspired the character, but then they also used him in the movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So you can go to Bloody Disgusting if you want to read the whole article. It sounds fun. I mean, the title, just the farmer and the shark, is not necessarily intriguing to me, in my opinion. But when you actually read about it, it does make you want to check it out. So I'll watch it when it comes out.
That would be a pretty awesome flex, though, to be like, yeah, I was in Jaws.
Yeah. And what's cool is they're actually going to premiere this at Martha's Vineyard Museum on Tuesday, August 19th at 4 p.m. So
cool.
If any of you listening can make it there,
I'm probably going to miss it, but that's cool.
Yeah.
I'll watch for it to stream somewhere because it definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Like a fascinating dude. So,
yep. I'm sure it'll be streaming somewhere eventually. And since we were just talking about a shark movie, going to Dangerous Animals, that one will eventually be streaming on Shudder. Go see it in the theater now if you can and support it. But it is a Shudder film, so we know it's going to be there at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll wait patiently.
Yeah, I probably won't be able to get away to go see it right now, but fingers crossed that I can find the time. That's pretty tough. But Megan 2.0 is coming out June 27th, and it's a horror comedy satire. And this one, it almost seems like it's taken like a Terminator 2 approach, where I think Megan becomes the hero. There's another threat in this one. So it says at this time, Megan is reactivated to take out an even deadlier AI-based robot. Will this upgraded bot slice and crack her way through anyone that keeps her from protecting her loved ones? Remains to be seen. So
this sounds like Godzilla, but dolls.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll watch it.
I'll stream it.
I'll stream it. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. I'm not in a hurry.
I am gonna try to hit the theater to watch 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
June 20th.
Yep. That should be fun.
That I'm avoiding much details about it.
Yeah. I'm looking at it here. I'm looking at details. I'll just keep moving on.
But do you have some of the cast that are returning?
Yeah. So it's directed by Danny Boyle, starring Jodie Comer, Aaron Taylor Johnson from Kick-Ass, who I love those movies, and hope I'm saying his name right, Ralph Fiennes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, he's good. He's good. And the original guy is supposed to be coming back. Cillian Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I seem to have seen somewhere along the lines.
So this says here, the series took a hibernating zombie slumber for nearly 2 decades, as we know. At long last, Boyle and Garland reunite to kick off a new trilogy of terror with the aptly named 28 Years Later, continuing with the shot back-to-back 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, due out in 2026. So
it's going to be a 3-parter.
It sounds like it. Yeah, it says expect more running zombie nightmare action by 2 masters of the form.
I thought I heard it was a 2-part. I didn't know 3, but that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I mean,
we'll see.
Let's see how this first part is, and I'll let you know if I'm going to give them more of my money.
Yeah.
I mean, If the first, I'm gonna watch the first part, I'm gonna have to watch the rest too.
Yeah, Sarah and
But
I need to watch the first two again. It's been so long.
yeah, I need to rewatch them. I might do that today, actually.
I think I would
Might bring one
appreciate
up.
them more now. I mean, I liked them back in the day. I owned them both at one point. I don't know if I still do or not, um, but yeah, I need to find them and watch them again. So there's a movie coming out on July 11th called Skill House. I have heard nothing about this movie until now. It's directed by Josh Stolberg, starring Neil Madonna, 50 Cent, and Caitlin Carmichael. And
Decent.
in this, yeah, 50 Cent, in this satirical takedown of self centered influencers, 10 of them are trapped in a house to film an ersatz reality show, ERSATZ, as the
Eh,
world votes on their life and
we
death.
don't need to know that word.
Yeah.
They're
The
making a
losers,
reality show. Okay,
yeah. The
got it.
loser is chased by the Triller Killer, the one and only will escape Skill House alive. Our money's on star 50 Cent, while the other hapless contestants are played by real life influencers like Bryce Hall and Paige Van Zant, and genre actors like Neil Madonna. So that's all
Sounds
we know about
terrible.
that one. Yeah.
That's
Uh,
all I need to know. I'm not. Uh,
I'm not
July
crazy about
18th.
like
Is
the
it,
whole.
I know what you did last summer is coming in July. That's going to be better.
That's so funny you said that because that's next on the list.
I
um,
was I wasn't super excited about it, but after hearing about that last one you just mentioned, that made I know what you did last summer sound that much better. So
yeah, as you
carry
said,
on what
July
you got.
18th. It's directed by Jennifer Caton Robinson. As we know, the trailer's out, so you can see Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. are back. 90s nostalgia reigns supreme, along with the new Final Destination movie. I Know What You Did Last Summer is another requel, as the Scream movies define them. A series refresh after many years that also keeps the continuity of the older movies going. So, I mean, I'll
Who
watch it. I
who
like the first two.
who posted that?
This is also from Rotten Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. They called it a requel.
Yeah.
Huh. Never heard that one before.
Yeah.
Must be getting old. I
I've
don't know
heard the term requel, but I don't really use it.
what the fuck is a requel? So it's a remake of a sequel?
Yeah.
Is it a re why don't they just call it another sequel?
I don't know.
Because it's
I don't know.
continuation of the movie 20 years ago. Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho,
To
July
quote you,
18th. Yeah.
anyways, um, July 25th, a week later, you can watch Bambi the Reckoning, and that's
Yeah.
directed by Dan Allen.
You sure can.
Yep. It's public domain. Bambi's public domain now, so people are doing whatever they want with that, just like Winnie the Pooh. Um, so since the original Bambi novel, Bambi: A Life in the Woods, entered the public domain in 2021, filmmakers are free to make horror movies starring the deer character that Disney made famous, and they have.
So
Similar
that went
movies abound with now public characters like Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse. Bambi: The
Popeye.
Reckoning is the fourth in the Twisted Childhood universe series after the two Pooh movies and a Peter Pan movie before it.
See, I didn't even hear about the Peter Pan one until after the Pooh one.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't even know Bambi was public domain since 21. So I'm
Yep.
surprised it took that long. So I guess it's basically cashing in on the Pooh.
Pretty much. Yeah. And there's a Popeye one coming out too.
There is a Popeye one. There might have been a couple, but I know there's one that just went up on Tubi that you could watch. It's called like Popeye's Revenge or something weird like that. But
They're trying to jump on it before the other one.
I put it in my queue so I
Yeah.
can watch it. And,
I think I mentioned the movie Together last time that we spoke on here. That
Possibly.
one is, I don't know if I remembered mentioning the date though. July 30th. You can catch that one in theaters, I believe. And it is starring and produced by both Dave Franco and Allison Brie, who are husband and wife. They star in this body horror examination of codependent relationships. A darling out of Sundance earlier this year, this picture is gross out and fleshy like the substance. But the comparisons end there as a supernatural force begins to mash the couple together, literally.
Oh, that's
Much
fucked up.
squishy horror abounds in together as the two characters go to comedic, horrific lengths to keep themselves apart to disastrous effect.
Oh, see, that sounds fun.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
That
looking forward
sounds
to it.
interesting.
Yeah,
Did you
I'm
watch The
definitely.
Substance?
I still haven't, no, because I don't think it's anywhere to stream at home.
It might be, but
Yeah,
I don't know. But this other one, what was this other one called? Together?
together.
That's that's fun. I like that it says there's a comedic edge to it.
Yeah, I think
Like,
with Dave Franco involved, it should be funny. Yeah,
yeah, well, Allison Brie too. She could do comedy.
yeah.
Oh,
Um,
see, I didn't even know about that one. That's that sounds good. When is that? July
July 30th.
30th? July
Yeah,
30th. I'm gonna
yep,
make a note of that one because that's probably one I might try to go see.
yeah. That should be fun. There's a movie called Weapons coming out on August 8th, so just a couple days after your birthday, directed by Zach Krager, starring Josh Brolin, Julia Garner, and Alden Ehrenreich. Um, Triple threat writer, producer, director Zach Krager made 2022's Barbarian. And
Okay.
so he's behind this. Weapons is a must see follow up starring Josh Brolin, Julia Garner. Oh, from The Wolfman. Okay. The plot of this movie is being kept under wraps, except that it's an interrelated multistory horror epic having to do with disappearing kids. As the barbarian, the best thing to do is to go in blind and let Krager's filmmaking hit you like a ton of bricks. You won't regret it. So,
I think
not much we can say about that one yet.
maybe when we quote other sources, let's not try to use the crazy words that we want to say.
They're using some weird words in this, man. I gotta
Making
say,
shit
like,
up.
I don't. I mean, spelling was a strong point for me in school, but like, there's some words in here I've never even used before.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Toxic Avenger,
that's the
August
one
August
that
29th.
I'm most excited for. That or Frankenstein at the toss up.
I don't really have a lot of history with Toxic Avenger. I'll check it out, but I just
That's your loss, sir. It's your loss.
I I just never really went down that rabbit hole, but maybe I will sometime. But August 29th, you can check that one out, starring Peter Dinklage, Jacob Tremblay, Taylor Page. Um, it's about a deformed champion of justice with a tutu and a mop. It
It's
promises to be disgusting and funny as ever. If your idea of a good time at the superhero movies is heads bursting like melons and blood and other fluids flowing freely, you'll want to see this.
exactly.
That sounds fun.
It is. I'm surprised you've never watched the Toxic fucking Avenger.
I mean, I know about the character and everything. And I might have even had a toy of Toxic Avenger as a kid. I think I did. Probably got him at a garage sale with a bunch of other toys or something, but just never really went down that path.
I actually just got a couple Toxic Crusaders figures in.
Yeah.
Bought a little bought a little box of some toys from somebody that was moving some stuff. She was thinning out her collection, and I got a couple Inhumanoids figures, a couple Toxic Crusaders, a cool old tin robot. I got some cool stuff. I think I put it on like TikTok or something.
I think you
Over
did.
there
Yeah.
with the kids. Over there with the kids.
Yeah.
With the young whippersnappers. But
Well, you know what?
Toxic Avenger, you gotta watch Toxic Avenger. Watch the original Toxic Avenger.
Okay. I'll try to check
You'll
that
love it.
out at some point. You know what those young whippersnappers like? They like the Conjuring universe. And Conjuring universe is coming back with what I think is the last one featuring um Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah.
Um, so this one is called The Conjuring Last Rites. And I'm not going to say too much about it. But it says it might not necessarily be the last Conjuring movie, but I think those two might be wrapping it up soon.
I think it depends on how much money they make with this one.
Yeah.
Did you see, speaking of Conjuring, the the little stuff that was going on online. They were like touring the original Annabelle doll, and
Yeah.
it like they said it went missing or something, and people were freaking, but it really wasn't missing. But that's still funny.
Yeah.
Um, but I actually avoided watching Annabelle
Yeah.
and the Nun
Yeah.
because they just look dumb to me. I finally watched Annabelle, and it wasn't that great.
No,
Like
I'm
I
not really into it. Sarah wants to watch them again soon. She's been talking about wanting to watch The Conjuring and Annabelle
it's
recently.
because TikTok's telling her to. But
Probably.
first Conjuring movie was great. Second one was okay, and all the spin-offs are like, meh. Like
I
I
like the
started the
first one a
Nun a
lot.
couple times and kept falling asleep.
Yeah, I didn't get into the Nun. I love the first Conjuring. That one actually scared me the first time watching it because I just watched it by myself with all the lights off, just laid in bed and watched it, and it was spooky. Um, but
Scary. That's
there's a
scary.
there's a couple sequels that had some good moments. I like the Red Demon, the Red Door story or whatever. That one was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I it sounds like Ed and Lorraine might be wrapping it up for good in this movie. We'll see. I mean, they could just be telling you that to get you to come and watch it, but either way, people are gonna check it out. There's one coming out September 12th called The Long Walk, directed by Francis Lawrence, starring Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, and Mark Hamill. Way back when Stephen King wrote a series of offbeat and violent
Hamill, never
novels.
heard of that guy.
Yeah, who? He told no one for years, and there haven't been many adaptations of the Bachman books like there have with King's primary body of work. Until now, The Long Walk, one of the better known Bachman stories, is a dystopian yarn about young men forced by the government to walk until they die, with the winner getting the grand prize. Mark Hamill plays the leader of the evil police force in this dark tale. So, I mean, that doesn't say a lot, but Mark Hamill being connected to horror, it does have me intrigued. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with that. I'll wait for a trailer. I'll definitely watch the trailer at least. I don't know if I'll end up watching the whole movie, but I like, and I've probably said it here before, but I just like to see actors a little out of their element. So, um, people that you are not used to seeing in a certain genre, like even if I'm not really a fan of their work, I'm at least intrigued by it and might want to check it out. So, um, knowing our almighty Luke Skywalker is a part of this, or maybe Cockknocker to some of you, um, I'm gonna wait for the trailer and we'll see what it looks like. Um, and then of course, as I mentioned last episode, the movie Him is coming out September 19th, directed by Justin Tipping, starring Marlon Wayans, Tariq Withers, and Julia Fox. Now, as you heard, it's not directed by Jordan Peele, but it is produced by him. Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw Productions, they're behind it. It's a rare mashup of a sports movie and a horror movie, which I don't think I know of too many horror films involving sports, but I'm not a sports guy. So it might have just, if there is a sports horror movie out there, it probably just flew under my radar. Um, but I like Jordan Peele. I really like Marlon Wayans. He's my favorite of the Wayans brothers or of that family. Um, so I'll check it out eventually. Uh, it says a rising young football star being mentored by close to retirement Isaiah White, played by Marlon Wayans. Cade is drawn into a horrifying world of power and fame as he discovers how far someone must go to succeed at all costs. Withers also co-stars in the new entry I Know What You Did Last Summer series releasing this year. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm a little interested. I'm not crazy about the sports theme, but I'll probably watch it when it's out streaming somewhere.
Sports are awesome.
You know, if I could watch a football game where there were like actual zombies on the field and you had to like play the game of sports while dodging zombies attacking you, I might be into that. I'd probably watch that. If that was like say we're, in the real world, like the zombie apocalypse threat is out there and someone's like, "You know what? Let's put that into football and we'll just put long chains on them and they can still tackle people and I don't know. You have to figure that one out. I don't want like football players dying on the field or anything like that, but it'd be more entertaining for me to watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably
I
more
like football the way
entertaining.
it is, but
Yeah.
I think maybe we protect quarterbacks a little too much. But other than that,
I mean, I'd probably find that more entertaining than The Strangers Chapter 2 that's coming out September 26th. I haven't even watched it yet, but I can't get into that series.
strangers,
Yeah.
I don't think I even watched any of them. How many
No.
has there been?
Okay, so they made the original, and then I think they waited a long time and they put out Strangers Prey at Night. I think that's it. It's just those two so far.
Yeah,
Maybe another one, but I watched the first one, and I mean, you're probably not going to watch it, so you don't care if I say this, right?
I don't think.
Um, at one point, and I remember we've talked about this before on the show. They the girl that's being attacked, she just asked the people in masks, like, "Why are you doing this?" And they're like, "Because you were home." Like,
Yeah.
that's
We
it.
did have that conversation.
We did, yeah. So,
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm not
Wrong
crazy
place,
about this
wrong
series.
time, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Man, a lot of bad things happen. Wrong place, wrong time.
so, Osgood Perkins, the director, which I'll bring up his name again soon. He is making a film called Keeper, which comes out October 3rd. Um, and it stars Tatiana Maslany from,
Maslany, yes, she's
yeah,
amazing.
from She-Hulk. Rosif Sutherland from Murder in a Small Town. Couple Liz and Malcolm who begin their anniversary adventure in a remote cabin. Malcolm has to leave unexpectedly for the city. Things swiftly go bad for the remaining Liz. There's more, but I'll leave it there. So expect for a trailer to come out in the next couple of months, I imagine.
Osgood
Uh,
Perkins, long legs.
yes,
Osgood Perkins, which
yeah, from Long Lays. I still haven't watched that one.
yeah, they directed The Monkey too, which I need to watch.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find
same.
it streaming, but I don't know if it's out there yet. I think it is. I think maybe I found it and I just didn't want to pay for it yet.
Yeah, that
So
happens. That was me with the Wolf Man. I wasn't gonna watch that until I could watch it for free. Um, Black
me
Phone
too.
2. You guys probably seen the trailer already. October 17th.
Yep.
Um, Ethan Hawke, Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, directed by Scott Derrickson. Trailer looks pretty fun. I wasn't crazy about the first movie, but this one looks okay. It kind of feels like they're almost adding like a kind of a supernatural vibe to it in a way. But the scene with him like on ice skates coming through the fog with the axe in his hand, that looks really good. That just looked like it was well shot. But I'll I'll watch it at home.
Yeah. It's,
Frankenstein. We already talked about Frankenstein, November 25th on Netflix.
yep.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2. You can check out the trailer or the teaser trailer for that now. That comes out December 5th, starring Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lale, Piper Rubio. I don't know why they're not even listing Matthew Lillard here, but he's in it. Um, so
Well,
we know what to expect with that one.
yeah.
It's going to be much more
Some
frightening than the first.
At some point in the next year, I'm not sure the date. I know the Maggie Gyllenhaal, The Bride, is coming. It's like her remake of The Bride of Frankenstein. I know she has a bunch of good people in that. like Penelope Cruz and Christian Bale and one of the Sarsgaards, and she had a good cast for it. So interested to see how that is.
Yeah, yeah, that should be cool. Um, that's pretty
Not
much
sure
it.
when though, so not sure when.
That's pretty much it for the upcoming releases. I mean, the Anaconda one that I mentioned last time is there. That's coming out on Christmas Day. I'll check that one out. I'm looking forward to that just from the casting alone. But so I mentioned Osgood Perkins, and that brings me to some news involving Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So the rights for TCM are kind of up for grabs right now, from the sound of things. And there are a few people that want it and have been pitching their take on what the next story would be. Osgood Perkins is one of them. Um, Also, they have Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw Productions. They're interested. Taylor Sheridan from Yellowstone. I'm not really familiar with him. I don't watch Yellowstone. Um, and Netflix themselves. And actually, I guess there's a few more studios or writers that maybe haven't been specifically mentioned yet, but there's like
Netflix just did a Texas Chainsaw Massacre a couple
they
years
did,
ago.
they did, and so they're interested in maybe doing another one. Um, and that last one was okay. I
It's
I
fine. I
liked it
enjoyed it more
more.
the second time I watched it.
Yeah. I think I only watched it once, but I'd like to watch it again. I don't think Sarah watched it with me. She's not really into TCM like I am, but when I told her what it was about, she said it sounded kind of interesting. So maybe we'll check that again or check that out again soon. But there's like
It's worth
five.
watching just for the bus
The
scene.
bus, yeah. That was what I described to her actually. Yeah. And she was like, that sounds kind of cool. But there's like 5 to 8 studios and writers that are
Oh
interested in
yeah,
picking this up.
everybody's gonna want that one.
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see, which one actually gets picked up. But
Man, I love
uh
the idea of Osgood Perkins doing it after seeing what he did with Long Legs,
see, I
and
want
it
to
just
watch
felt
that.
so real and just scary.
I want to check
Like
that
it
out.
generally was creepy and made you uncomfortable a bit,
Yeah.
which I feel like putting that element back into Texas Chainsaw Massacre would be like fucking perfect.
Well, I need to watch Long Legs so I can see what you're referring to.
It's wild.
As much as I like Jordan Peele, just as a comedian, and he's a horror lover, and I like some of his work. I don't know if he would be the right guy for a blood fest like Texas Chainsaw. I don't want it to turn into like a psychological horror film.
Yeah, no.
And that's mostly what he's known for. And like it's
Yeah.
it's just Leatherface is not that. And
I
um
don't need I don't need any social message or anything in here.
yeah,
I just need a fucking Leatherface fucking shit up.
I mean, I might some people might disagree with this. Maybe if they let Rob Zombie pitch something, he might come up with a good idea for it. I mean, his original movies, his first two that he's mostly known for, the ones that people like the most, the majority likes the most, are very, very Texas Chainsaw Massacre inspired.
Oh
So
yeah, they're basically homage to those
yeah.
to
Oh,
that movie in that era, that gritty 70s like grindhouse and exploitation
yeah.
stuff.
And I'm not in love with most of his stuff. I try watching them because I do like some of his stuff a lot, but I think he would have a chance with a movie like that. So and
Yeah.
and back with Jordan Peele and Monkey Paw, like I wonder if he would just produce it, kind of like Candyman. Maybe they would have
That could.
somebody else direct it, and he would just kind of be the overseer.
Well, after seeing what the amount of like gore and fun kill scenes Netflix allowed with Fair Street, I kind of hope Netflix keeps with it and does it again because they did a solid job with their last TCM, and they might as well keep it going.
I'm Mr. Lobo of Cinema Insomnia, and you're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show. Or are you?
With that, talking about movies coming back, old franchises and stuff, and stuff coming or going to theater, there's a few things that are coming back. I mentioned Jaws earlier. But Shin Godzilla is being re-released in North American theaters August 14th. They're putting out a 4K remaster. It's going to be distributed by G Kids. The original movie, Shin Godzilla from 2016, was really, really good. Fantastic. If you haven't seen it, track it down. I don't know if it's streaming or anything anywhere, but you could find it at freaking Walmart or wherever. But I'm probably kind of looking forward to going and watching that. But I'm really hyped that Day of the Dead, the George A. Romero classic, we'll call it a classic, is returning to theaters for its 40th anniversary this year. It's going to run for a few months here and there. So keep an eye on your local theaters to find out where that's going to pop up. That's the Day of the Dead coming back. Also, speaking of George A. Romero, his daughter, Tina Romero, is putting out her own horror flick.
Really?
Actually, they just, what's today's date? It's 8th, so yesterday they premiered it. So I'm going to have to look up and see what people thought of it.
Where did it premiere?
At the Tribeca Film Festival. It's called
Oh.
Queens of the Dead.
Oh.
So I'm assuming it might be a zombie thing, but it's Romero's daughter, so I got to go check it out. I got to track it down and see if it's any good.
Definitely.
And since keep the Romero topic going here for one more little tidbit. A lot of people, most of you probably heard that the Monroeville Mall, where Dawn of the Dead is filmed, was purchased by, I believe, Walmart parent company.
Oh.
And there's like petitions going around to try to save the mall as a historical place to film. It's film history.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are really fighting for it. Ken Forey just put out a big, nice post talking about it and in support of it, and hopefully they can find some way to preserve it and do something with it that's not turning it into a fucking Walmart or something.
Yeah, we got enough of those.
Yeah, I mean, like even that's like the epicenter of like Romero fandom, like bucket list places you have to visit.
Yeah.
That mall is one of them, and then like the graveyard from Night of the Living Dead. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if they still have it in that mall, but I think they have the Living Dead Museum. It has a bunch of like artifacts and stuff from all the Romero movies. They might have moved it. I'm not 100% sure, but I know they even have the Days of the Dead convention there at that mall.
Yeah.
They have all these cast members from all the Romero films and stuff, and it's a full-on horror convention. But I don't know, they got to find a way to save it. It's a big part of film history. It's up there with them places like you got to go see the Michael Myers house. You got what I mean. You got to go see the Nightmare on Elm Street house in Hollywood. You got to go to see the Monroeville Mall.
Yeah.
Got to go to the cemetery I mentioned. It's just for horror fans. There's all like these mecca, like bucket list shit that in places we need to see. And I feel like this mall is one of them. And if that petition, go find it, or if it comes across your feed on social media, jump on there and sign it. I don't know if it'll do anything to save it, but it'll at least open people's eyes and realize that some of these cool places do matter.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't save it, but they might do something to preserve part of it somehow.
Yeah.
It's
And
history. It's part of our history.
it is. And, um, if it does sadly go away, hopefully they can at least like try to keep some pieces of it, maybe for like a auction down the road or something. Because people would love to have a piece of that mall or that history, in their hands, on the shelf or wherever.
Yeah. I actually
Any
have pieces of years back they were doing they were saving the little chapel at the graveyard from Night of the Living Dead.
Mhm.
They'd like renovate it because it was just like dilapidated and run down. They were just going to tear it down, but they renovated it. They did a fundraiser to renovate, and people that kicked in got little like pieces of the renovation, the shit they had to tear down and stuff that was bad. So I have like little pieces of that in the other
That's
room
cool.
in my collection. And it was
That's cool.
spearheaded by Gary Striner, who is part of the original crew and one of the producers from um, the original Night of the Living Dead, Rush Striner's brother, and
I was thinking probably relation.
yeah, they're brothers, but they were
Yeah.
both a big part of that original movie, and so
Yeah.
I kind of got a tiny little piece of it, 2 little pieces of it, which is pretty
That's
cool.
Yeah, any fan of something that has like a storefront or a an actual place you can visit is probably gonna have that as like a goal, in the back of their mind, like, oh, I got to go to that place one day. Like, this isn't horror, but with me being such a Kevin Smith fan, of most of his work, uh, in the back of my mind, I'm like, one day I got to make it out to Jersey and I got to go to the Secret Stash. I want to check that place out, and then I'd love to go to his theater as well. That'd be fun. I may never.
I figured you were gonna say you wanted to go up to Forks, but yeah.
No, I'd much rather pay for a ticket to go to Jersey.
Let me tell you,
Um,
I'd
but
I'd I'd rather put a Forks than Jersey, to be honest. But I see the reasonings.
that's the only
Why?
reason I want to go to Jersey. Um, but and the mall thing had me thinking, I could be wrong on this, but I think in Zach and Miri Make a Porno, um, somebody was wearing a jersey, that like a hockey jersey, that said Monroeville Zombies. I
Yeah,
think that was their hockey team, and
it
they
was
might have even filmed some scenes in that mall too.
just homage to that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely an homage to that film. So, um, and that actually thinking of Kevin just brings me back to something real quick. As we were talking about sharks earlier, um, it looks like he's actually getting closer to making moose jaws a real thing, which is supposed to be like frame for frame the movie Jaws, but with a moose. And it's the last film in his Canadian trilogy. He's been trying to get this done for like 10 years now. And um, he's like interviewing, or he's doing a lot of interviews lately because of Dogma being re-released in theaters right now for the 25th anniversary. And there's a couple people that he's talked to where Moose Jaws is brought up, and he's like, you can be in it. And he's like, all you have to do is be around. He's like, I can't promise you're going to get paid much, but I can put you, I can give you a part. Like he told Burt Kreischer, so you could be the role of Brody. And who knows what'll happen, but I'm excited for it, and I hope that it finally comes out. Um, from what I've heard him say in the past, Jay and Silent Bob will collectively play the role of Quint. And I've heard them at live shows read off a part of the script where like the whole town, well, not the whole town, but like a bunch of the people are in that room, and they're all talking about what they're going to do about the attacks and everything. And then, Quint comes in and scratches his nails on the board. So uh Jay and Bob do that same kind of thing. Like they make a noise on the board, and of course, like Jay drew a giant dick on the board or whatever, and they kind of have a comedic twist on that scene. And it sounds like they're going to try to help save the day, save everybody from this moose that's like biting the heads off of kids and stuff like that. So
How many times has this come up that it's going to be happening, and then we
yeah,
don't hear about it for 3 years?
like I said, it's literally been 10 years he's been trying to do it. So I
Insane.
wasn't impressed with the last Canadian one that he did, Yoga Hosers. I didn't like that one at all. But I'm hoping this one is better. It sounds like it'll be better just from the
There's
premise.
gotta be something about it that's preventing it from being made. Like, is it just bad and nobody wants to back it? So he's just hoping.
I don't know. Recently he
It's
said
like,
something about
give me,
like,
what's the pitch? Like, see at a meeting, like, what's the pitch? It's Jaws, but with a moose.
yeah.
Pass. Like,
I
but
guess the
as for,
studio said to him like, if you can make this under $8 million, we can help you.
see
And
why you can't.
yeah, he said done. So we can
Yeah.
do that, no problem. So I don't know. I would like to see him do more horror comedies, and any way to put Jay and Bob in there, I'm
I
interested.
mean, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Yeah.
And here's my money, fucking Kevin Smith. Here's more
The
of
only-
my damn money. But yeah,
The only thing, and I heard him say this, I think at one of the live shows we went to, I think he even talked about it. And he said that the only problem with Jay and Bob playing Quint is one of them has to die. But my thought would be, just because it's a ridiculous movie and you could do this for the hell of it, is have Bob be eaten, but then maybe at the end, like after credits scene, they show the moose laying there and you just see Bob's fist come out the ass of the moose, because you can't kill one of them off. It's like you can't have Cheech without Chong. You can't have Bill without Ted. Like, you need Jay and Bob both. Why are you gonna? You can't kill one of them. So I feel like there's got to be some way to make it show or make it seem like he's still around.
you could kill him, and then at the end have a scene like in Star Wars when all like the Force ghosts are there. Have one of those be
Yeah.
like a Force ghost.
Yeah, Force Ghost standing next to Jay.
Yeah.
Or I thought like that could be the moment that Bob finally talks, is when he's being eaten. Yeah.
Or when
We'll
Jay
see.
is being eaten. Yeah.
Yeah, either
I
one.
think Jay would be a funnier Force ghost.
Yeah.
To see him acting like Jay.
Yeah.
But
That would be fun. Yeah. And then Bob could just be irritated with him even further.
I think one would die for the other, so they'd probably both die.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll hear about
Hopefully,
it.
we'll see one day. Maybe another 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll hear about it in 10 years. Yeah. See if you make it to Jersey by then.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Dr. Gangrene. You're watching the Steve. No, you're not. You're listening to the Steve and Crypto Show right here on whatever network you're on. I don't know what you're on. Don't ask me. I can't see what you're doing, but keep listening and tune in next week for more cool content on the Steve and Crypto Show.
But yeah, man, there's a lot of things coming out that some I'm actually pretty excited about.
Likewise.
About 25%.
Yeah.
I mentioned 200 things just now, and about 50 of them I'm excited for.
I mean, there's
Maybe
more
the
that
numbers were exaggerated a little bit, but
there's definitely
lot
more
that
that
I'll
wasn't
watch.
mentioned.
there's
Yeah.
a lot that I'll watch eventually.
There's definitely more that wasn't mentioned. I mean, of course, everybody knows about Scream 7. I can't wait for that.
That's next year.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about that next year. Talk about that after Stranger Things comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure a lot more details are going to come out about Scream and all that stuff. And we'll just wait patiently.
Yep.
And fight for the Monroeville Mall. And go watch all these classics coming back to theaters with Shin Godzilla and Day of the Dead and Jaws and and whatever else is being re-released.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
If any of you guys that are listening have watched something recently, or you know of something that maybe we didn't mention, if you got any info on a future release that we haven't talked about, let us know. If there's something that's just under our radar, which happens all the time, that we haven't noticed yet, bring it up. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show.
absolutely. And stay tuned. You guys are gonna meet our buddy Willie pretty soon. Willie Jarrett. He's
Yep.
a big horror fan. He's been a supporter of our show for a long time. So he's gonna join us every once in a while and be part of the team. And what else we got going on? The Space Monsters magazine is officially available. Link will be in the show episode notes. Get a copy of it. You get the digital copy. You get a hard copy. Whatever. If you know any bookstores, comic shops, or horror themed shops, or anywhere it would be fitting to carry this magazine, let them know that you want it. Let me know. I'll even reach out to the shops to try to get it in the shops. I want to see it. It's going to be a good magazine, but my name's attached to it, so I want it to do well. I want it to be out there as much as possible. And
Yeah.
And what else we got going? Anything else coming? Anything? Do we have any events coming? Not until late summer, early fall, I think.
Yeah, not for a while.
Right. I mean, I know I'm going to be attending SummerCon one day.
I want to say that I am. I don't know at this point. Things are so tight financially that
That's the
and there's a
problem.
lot going on, man. Birthday's coming up. Our youngest is going to be a year old next Sunday, and there's just a lot going on. So
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'll see how it goes. Like I'm going. I got my pass. I'll be there.
Well, good.
Will I meet anybody? I don't know. Will I buy anything
See,
cool? We'll see.
that's the thing, man. Is like there's the cost to get in, and then like I have at least 2 signatures that I want. Well, 3 really. I mean, I want Matthew Lillard, I want Skeet Ulrich, and I want Chris Jericho. But
Yeah.
I just
That's
that's a
do I
lot.
want to spend can I spend that much money? Like
Yeah,
who knows how much it's gonna be.
right.
I wanna meet Jericho. I
Yeah.
don't need to get his autograph. I have it on other things that I've gotten through,
Mm,
his website and stuff.
yeah.
But I want to get a photo with him.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking Chris Jericho. Like my all time favorite
Definitely one
sports
of mine.
entertainer.
Yeah, definitely
And
one of mine
then
for sure.
he's there, and one of my other, quite possibly my second all-time favorite sports entertainer, Bret Hart, is going to be there.
Yeah.
So they have the Hitman and Jericho.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, am I gonna? How much are these people gonna charge for
Yeah.
stuff? And
That's the
can
thing,
I
man.
afford it? And a show like this, there's way too goddamn many guests.
Hmm.
There's like 50 fucking celebrity guests, and I'd probably like to meet 20 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
It's great that they have the variety to get people, different demographics in there and all that. It's cool that you have the
Yeah.
option, for a lot of different people you can meet, but it adds up so quickly. And I really I appreciate, not too many conventions do this, but I appreciate when a convention will list the prices in advance for what these people want. I can't say
Yeah.
which con it was that did it, but a while back I remember seeing that. I went to their website and it showed like, oh, 40 for a photo, 50 for autograph or whatever. I was like, I really appreciate that because it allows you
man,
to prepare for that in advance. You're like, okay, I'm going to need this
absolutely.
much to enter and I need this much for my photos and autographs. But
They want
otherwise
us to make more impulse purchases, which is
yeah.
how they get you.
I mean, we went to one of the Rose City Comic Con or something years ago, and there was people there that I think some of us were excited to meet, and then you get closer up to the line, you're like $80 for an autograph, never mind, and you're thinking about it your whole time there, like, oh, I'm gonna meet so and so, and I wonder how much they are. And I mean, a lot of them are more expensive than you would expect. Like, no offense to anybody, but like certain people are just charging a little bit more than you would think. And then there's some that are very humble, or they're just reasonable, and you see what they charge, you're like, well, I'm gonna get a photo and an autograph then, because that's not that bad. So, but yeah, I anybody involved with the convention, if you can take this one note, list those prices in advance. I know you
Well,
want
I
the
mean,
impulse buys, but tell us how much they're going to be.
I get they got to pay their guests and stuff to have
Sure,
guarantees, but when you
sure.
have too many, it's hard to meet the guarantees.
Yep. But at
And I
least
feel
if we
like,
know in advance what they want, that
and
helps.
I feel like people are less inclined to go spend money at vendors because they're in line all day to meet three guests or two guests,
Yeah.
and it hurts the vendors.
Like I know
And that's what I think. But
if I go to SummerCon, I'm gonna have to, like, as soon as I get in there, just tell Sarah, hey, you go wander around. I'm gonna go wait in Matthew Lillard's line for 4 hours.
yeah,
Like
that's what you're
that's
gonna do. You're gonna wait a
that's
while.
yeah, that's the number one dude I want an autograph from. And same thing, I want to meet him like you do Jericho. I want to meet Jericho too, but like I want to talk to Matthew Lillard. You hear nothing but good things about him at these conventions, and
Yeah,
I want to talk to him.
dude, I seen him years ago at Crypticon
Yeah.
with like no line. He was just like
Wow.
hanging out, just being cool with everybody. But now, since all these young new horror fans are jumping on like the Scream bandwagon and stuff, all of a sudden these people are all, A-listers again
Yeah.
in the horror world, which
Yep.
they've been there the whole time doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But anyway,
Not knocking anybody. They're
no.
all great, but
Yeah. But for all you guys listening, check out the cons if you can. Go out and support if you can afford it, and meet these people and have your moment. Have a moment with them. If you can manage and not break the bank, get that, because who knows when you're going to get it again. That's the thing, is like, we can't say, oh, Chris Jericho, Matt Lillard, they'll be back next year. We'll just go check them out then. Who knows when
yeah.
they'll be back?
But even more so, I say go support those vendors because a lot of them are independent creators and
Yeah.
dealers that are relying on, if they're lucky if they break even at a show like this.
Yep. Yep. I've
So
been a
it's
vendor at these shows, and there's been one or two of them where I didn't make a damn thing. So,
yeah, but not like one on this scale. But
no, not this big. No. But
yeah, that sounds like we're bitching about it, but it's not. It's just things that make it tough.
yeah.
You got
And
to tweak certain things. Like you could have too much of a good thing,
yeah.
could hurt it. I feel like that could happen, but it is what it is. I'll
Yeah.
be there. I'm sure I'll have fun, even if I don't spend a lot of money. But one thing, if everybody's gonna be over in those lines for celebrities, that's gonna mean more good shit for me to buy over at the
Yeah.
tables. So
Yeah.
if I can buy stuff, we'll see.
You're just looking at random people like, Skeet Ulrich is right over there, and there's no
Hey, look,
line. Why
what's
don't you
that?
go?
Yep.
Go check it
Take
out.
that. Let me get that magazine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
sell a bunch of shit on eBay over the next week and a half, and then I'll have extra money to meet Chris Jericho and Bret Hart, buy some toys, and
Yeah. You know what? Here's a good idea. You guys can support those conventions and support those independent vendors and whatnot. But we also would love it if you would support your third favorite podcast by going to Etsy. Go over there to Etsy/shop/Steven Crypto
Verities.
merch. Get them t-shirts, get your hoodie.
or just search Steven Crypto on Etsy.
Yep. You can do
It's the
that.
easy way.
You can follow us on the social medias at CryptoZoo88, at the Steve Strout. You can join that Facebook group, show us what you're working on, or just join and watch what everybody else is working on. And of course, you can follow us on Patreon and contribute as a little as $1 a month. Get some bonus content if you can't get enough of what you hear in here.
Yep. And most important, rate and review the episodes, share the episodes, spread the word, because that's the fastest way to us growing and sharing our nonsense with the world.
That's right.
With
We're
that
going to
being
share
said-
more nonsense on episode 170.
Episode 170. Believe that? We're pushing 200.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
pretty
I
exciting.
didn't think I would live this long, let alone make this many podcast episodes. But here I am,
Yeah.
creeping up on 200. We have to do something really awesome for 200.
Yeah, we do. We'll figure it out. And if you guys have any ideas, let us know.
Give
If
us
you
ideas.
if any of you guys out there just are like best friends with Matthew Lillard, just hit him up. Be like, hey, you should talk with these guys for episode 200.
Yeah, there you go. Let,
Yeah. Or Chris
let John
Jericho.
Carpenter know. Let John Carpenter know that we would love to speak to him.
Yeah. John Carpenter
That
would be
work.
great. I want to talk to Jericho and find out how it felt to get his face ripped off by Art the Clown.
We could interview the shark from Jaws. That would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Bruce. Yeah,
Anyways.
if anybody knows Bruce, hit him up.
Anyways, we will see you guys on the next episode. And we'll probably bring friends. So see you in 170.
More nonsense. Get ready for it. Peace.